Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Geeking Out podcast. I am the Athletic Geek, and my guest this week is artist cousin Charlie. As I just got done kind of saying to him when we weren't recording on Instagram, I get lots of great artists just popping up on my feed to follow, and this was one of them I really enjoyed. The piece that came up, the Venom piece that you see right now on your screen. I just thought he drew real good Venom, drew a really good Spawn, and just really appreciate his work and reached out to him. And after lots of severe weather and definitely not jiving schedules in our personal lives, here we are. We're finally being able to sit down and talk. And Charlie, thanks for doing this, man.
Oh, not a problem. I'm here.
Um, so my first question, usually the normal question for all the folks I have from kind of the art world, is what got you interested in geek culture as a whole? Well, the sci-fi, gaming. What got you started in all that?
Well, it's to be honest with you, I've literally been drawing the moment that I was walking. If I could pick up a pencil, I was drawing. Um, classes. I've been shoot. I don't think I've. I don't know. I think the first time I picked up a pencil was 2 years old, and I just haven't stopped.
Awesome.
And then, yeah, just been a geek ever since too. So grew up with the whole Street Fighter thing.
So, I mean, you mentioned that you were right out the gate starting to draw. Were there any? You mentioned Street Fighter. Was that kind of the big thing, or was there any like cartoon or book where you're like, I want to draw, I want to draw these characters. I want to draw somebody that could be in something like this. What was kind of your go to things whenever you were growing up?
Oh well, okay. So, it was honestly, it was everything.
Awesome.
Um, it was just, you know, I was a wrestling fan as a child. I was a big fan of RoboCop. I loved the Ninja Turtles, GI Joe, pretty much anything that was just cartoony or actiony. I was all in it, and I was willing to try to draw it. To be honest, a lot of tracing.
Tracing.
Yeah, a lot of tracing at that age.
It's funny you mentioned wrestling because wrestling's also a big part of this channel. Who are some of your favorite wrestlers?
Um, well, okay, so Jake the Snake Robert was always a big favorite of mine.
Okay.
Um, I was a big fan of Hulkamania. Before he went to NWO and became a heel, that was upsetting. And then I was a big Sting fan
Awesome.
during that period. You know, and
You still keep up with wrestling, or did you fall out of that whenever?
I kind of fell out of it. My brother still watches it.
Awesome.
He's a little bit older than me.
Direct him to the channel.
Uh,
um,
yeah.
but okay, so you wanted to draw all these different nerdy things. You're just really like we all are. There's just something that kind of like sparks. Do you remember the first characters that you really sat down to like? I really want to make a good picture. I really want to draw this one well.
Oh, I to be honest, it's gonna probably be Goku from Dragon Ball Z. It's
Nice.
just it was my jam when I was it was it came out. I think it stopped before about midway in the Frieza saga. I would
Okay.
constantly watch from and a TV edited version of the Tree of Might and World's Strongest, and it would just constantly loop, and then it would go all the way until Goku arrives in Namek, right?
Right.
And he fights before it, like him and he fights Jace and Verter. It would just stop and start all over again.
Now,
Shows my age.
oh yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
But now, okay, you always would start all over again. Now, as you entered adulthood, did you track down through streaming or DVDs or Blu-ray? Did you finally get to see the rest of Dragon Ball Z?
Oh yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yes. Yeah. I have every single episode. I would watch it if I got nothing to do. I'll watch it all day long.
Um, okay, so now you have all these eclectic, nerdy interests.
Yeah.
When did you take your first like art class? Like when did your school start offering art like in kind of like a more serious manner? I know we kind of have the basic art classes through grade school, but did you have a high school that offered serious art classes, or was this just kind of a self taught sort of skill for you?
I started taking it a little more seriously in high school because there were more serious art classes during then. Um, I've entered a few competitions. Never really got first place, but I've always been like an honorable mention. I think I've gotten second before on a poster contest. Things like that. Been, shown and seen.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so when you start taking the more serious art classes going into high school, did you have a particular favorite teacher, or a, did what stood out from you growing as an artist heading into those more serious art classes? What piece of advice did you get? What did you learn that really kind of put you on the path you're on now as an artist?
Oh, and those art classes, not much, to be honest
Okay.
with you. Um, I, uh, I don't know. I think I got. Oh, I guess I want to say I got a little indoctrinated by the parents telling you, "Yo, you should go to college. You should go, do this, do that, learn school. The
Right.
whole, you know, and become a fulfilling uh, member of society, right?"
Right.
And I did that. I stopped doing. I honestly stopped drawing after high school. I would just doodle, you know, in class. But yeah, it's just after I would say a few years, I moved to Florida and I started working for a company. But yeah, I got bored one day and I wanted to do a some kind of art oriented class, and I
Right.
just went into an art shop down in Sarasota, Florida, called Sarasota Art and Frame, and there was a man who taught comic booking, right?
Okay.
And I just took a class one day.
Okay, I was getting ready to ask you. So you did not, when were heeding your parents' advice to go to college, were you think did it cross your mind like, hey, I can major in art, I can, make a career out of this, or were you kind of like more so like, for better or worse, kind of listening to the adults going like, you don't want to do that, you want to major in something else, you want to major in this because that's a field where you're guaranteed a job, or uh did it ever cross your mind to major in art?
No, I followed the adults. I If I'm gonna be honest, I should not have followed and listened to the adults because I have a degree in drafting and design. I took the math, I took this, I took that, and I get out of college and market tanks and nobody's hiring anybody who's new, and
Right.
they want to pay you, you know, um, what do you call it? You need experience coming out of college, but they
Right.
don't. They want you entry level, but you want years of experience. When I was like, I don't have any. I I have my college experience. That's
Right.
about all I have. You know.
um that's very interesting, because it's going to lead into something I wanted to ask you a little bit later on. But you know, whenever you're, because I'm a college dropout, point
Yeah.
blank. Um, what is it like when you have a degree in drafting? Like how difficult is the job market for just something in that line? You know, you spend all this money on college, but yet, like you said, like is there, is it even, I'm not trying to like downplay college, but like is it even worth going to college for something in that nature whenever it's like breaking into that field is so hard? Like what would you say?
I. It depends. Some people take college real well. Some people don't. I I didn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I it just the math, and
Right.
people wanting work, and it's just I didn't feel it just didn't feel like a good it just didn't feel right to me, to be honest with you. It, I like I like more artistic things. I enjoy writing, I enjoy drawing, I enjoy just the what is it, the left side of the brain stuff where I don't like to. I could do the math, I could do all that other stuff, but it's just I'd rather draw the house, draw the trees, you know,
Right.
make it nice and pretty. I don't want to do the math to make sure this thing house doesn't collapse.
Right. Gotcha.
You know.
Um. Okay, so you mentioned you found the gentleman in Sarasota, Florida, and you
Yeah.
took your class, and uh, what was that class like? What was that gentleman like as a teacher, and how did that shape your art going forward?
It shaped it a lot actually. I essentially he just got me into the basic shapes of what drawing is. How everything is either a circle, a square, a triangle, and I just learned it. And then I kept going to his classes, and just meeting people and meeting other students, figuring things out. And yeah, it was a good guy. He still lives in Sarasota. Actually, his name's Michael White.
Okay,
He he actually did comics for DC and Marvel and things like that.
nice.
But I believe he's doing caricatures now.
Okay.
So it, hopefully he's doing well.
Um.
I
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm done.
um. Okay, so you take his class. He shapes your art. He helps you out a lot. When do you decide to really kind of put more into yourself as an artist and think, hey, I want to get a table at conventions. I want to start putting my art out there more. I want to maybe do things to make a living or to make money with my art. What kind of started that? And what kind of got the ball rolling on that?
It was a few friends I met in Orlando, Florida, actually. Um, Basically, I just met them. There's just random people I just met at a
Really, like,
convention.
oh,
Yeah,
convention. Okay, convention. Go go on.
yeah. Okay, so all right, this is okay. I'm gonna tell you my Florida story, right?
Go. Let's
So
let's hear it. This will be great.
okay, so before I met Michael White and started getting my drawing done, I would draw, you know, periodically here and there as a side thing, just so, because I just love to draw, right?
Right.
And then I went to my first Florida convention, which was the Tampa Bay uh, comic book convention,
Okay.
and I met a man named, I believe, Greg Daniels, and I wanted to show him my art, right?
Right.
And just to see where it was going. And honestly, he critiqued it and he ripped right into me. Like it's it's just how it is. It's it hurt. I can't say that it didn't hurt, but it was something that I needed,
right.
needed to listen to, needed to know, because what I thought was good wasn't really as good as I thought it was.
Uh.
It, it was good constructive criticism.
Well. Okay. Kind of tapering off of that, like nobody. I just did an interview with Skip Harvey, and he was kind of his tough love and criticism was broadcast on a documentary with worldwide release. But what were some of the things? Not to make you relive bad memories, but what were some of the things that he told you? That kind of made you think differently about your art? What was the constructive criticism that you really took with you, other than just the humbling experience overall?
Well, pretty much he said I needed to learn figure drawing and I needed to learn perspective. and that was about it. Those were his big criticisms of me, right?
Okay.
And it hurt a little bit because I was used to just drawing the way I want to draw, but he also gave me constructive critic. It's constructive, and he gave me a lift up. It's like, hey, like this, some of this other stuff that's not human based and whatnot. It's actually really good. There is potential, and he told me, hey, just take out some art classes. Doesn't matter what, just take something, and you should be it. And if I needed any kind of any suggestions or whatnot, I could always reach out to him as well, which
Awesome.
I didn't because I'm a very antisocial person and I don't do well with people. Which,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Um, so was this the first ever convention you'd ever went to, or did you do conventions around your area before you went down to Florida? What got you interested in? To me, the most fun thing a person could possibly ever do is go to some kind of comic book, wrestling, or science fiction convention. What got you interested in conventions themselves? Was it from a fan perspective, or was it just to kind of network and get critiques on your art?
It started out as a fan. I
Awesome.
It was just you know I just went to conventions. It's just just to be a geek.
Right.
I want to see comic book stuff. I want to buy some weird shirt that nobody really needs to do. Needs or wants.
Right.
But I want it anyways. It's just being a fan.
Right. What were some of the in your time going to conventions? What are some of the like really cool finds you had? Like, I can look back at conventions and I can think of, oh, I found Secret Wars 8 and then I met Stan Lee and had him sign it, or I found this like really rare wrestling figure, or I got this really cool art piece from an artist I really like. What were some of your in your earlier days of conventions? What were some of your or some of the things that you remember the most about like, oh, I finally found that. That's so cool, and I remember picking that up from this convention. You have anything like that?
Oh, shoot. There's a few. It's mostly I have a terrible habit of just buying figures, right? And it's just
If you see my house, you would know that
yeah.
habit is real, and it is it is addicting, and it's maybe not healthy, but it's
Oh,
fun.
it's so expensive sometimes
Oh
too. It's
yeah.
like it's just I have it bad. A buddy of mine has it really bad. We're just collecting figures and just sticking it all up. I swear there's not enough wall space for the amount of figures that we
Oh,
have.
I have a friend. We go to conventions, and he's like telling me and another buddy of mine, like, which one of these should I buy? Tell me I don't need to buy this. And then like we'll tell him like, yeah, you don't need to buy this. You're out of it. Like, I'm gonna go get it anyway. And then
Yeah, I do that.
I can only get one. Which one should I get? I think you should get that one. Really? Because I want this other one. I'll just get both.
Yeah.
And he's gonna listen to this, and he's gonna know exactly who he is. But yeah, that is the struggle is real. What are some of your favorite figures you have? Like, what are the crown jewels of your collection, if you have any?
Shoot. Crown jewels. I'm shoot. I don't know. I
They're like your children. You love them all equally.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I have a lot of Dragon Ball figures. I have a lot of Street Fighter figures, Marvel figures. Oh shoot.
You Marvel Legends collector?
No, no, I
Oh,
am not.
really?
I do not have enough money for that, and there's too many of those things.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. That's a pretty good philosophy to have, honestly, because it is a bad rabbit hole to fall down.
Oh, it
um,
really is.
uh,
I have a lot of play art, figures though, but those are not cheap at all.
no. My big addiction now is buying figures, going to conventions, and then having the figure has autograph it, or I have an autographed Goku figure by Sean Schimmel, or getting the autographed you mentioned Jake the Snake, an autographed Jake the Snake Roberts figure, or something like that.
Oh,
That's like my new
oh, that would be so
addiction.
great.
Um, So I mentioned all those names. Now, when you go to conventions, do you ever go to the celebrity areas? There ever been a time where you're like, this person who was in this TV show or this person who was in this movie, I gotta meet him. I will pay the fee. Or are you more of a shop-in kind of convention goer, or whenever you were going to conventions as a fan?
As a fan, I would try to meet celebrities,
Awesome.
try to get a shirt or two, and just taking random pictures and just seeing all the cosplayers, talking to artists, things like that. Just being a geek, an annoying little geek.
We've all been there, man.
Yeah,
We're all. There's no been there. We're all still there. It's just
yeah,
COVID has us keeps us from being there.
yeah.
Um,
It's just gushing over people who are a little higher up than you,
right.
and then you're just like, I'm pretty sure I'm annoying this man right now.
You either, or you say something you think's kind of stupid, and then they're really nice, and then you get back to your hotel room and you're like,
Like,
"Oh, I was
oh,
dumb. I was stupid in front of Ric Flair.
yeah,
Oh no."
yeah, ugh, it's
So
crazy.
you want to meet the celebrities. Who were some of the celebrities that you really wanted to meet and that you've got the pleasure of meeting?
Oh, like Lou Ferrigno was a good one. He actually gave me some weightlifting advice. That was
Nice.
that was
That's
fantastic.
Hey, you got a better interaction with Lou Ferrigno than I did.
Really?
Well, the thing, like, he wasn't a jerk, but like my very first convention I ever went to was Wizard World St. Louis, and I'm not apologize to everybody. I'm not trying to take Charlie's time here or anything, but we go up there and I'm like really excited. It's me and a friend, and we're gonna meet Lou Ferrigno. Like, yeah, we're meeting the Hulk, and I just get out of Jason David Frank's line, and he's cool as hell. And then I go to Lou Ferrigno, and I'm thinking like I'm buzzing from how friendly Jason David Frank was, and I'm like, "Hello, Mr. Ferrigno. Can we both get a picture?" Yeah, that's 60 and not 40 now. Oh, okay. We give him the money, and like he takes a good picture with us, and then
Yeah.
we're like, "All right, thank you. You're welcome." And then we just kind of awkwardly walk out of line. We're like, "Okay, Lou's there for the money. Nope, not faulting that, but Lou's there to
Well,
Look, and I'm not saying he was a jerk. It was just kind of very. It was the most business-like interaction I've ever had with anybody at a convention.
well, you gotta. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not super sure I finessed it right or whatnot, but he's also deaf too. So like,
Yeah,
he's
that's
deaf in like one ear. So like, if he sounds like he's yelling, it may not actually be him yelling.
right. Um, okay, we mentioned Lou Ferrigno, and I'm not knocking Lou Ferrigno. I'm very happy I got to meet the Hulk. It was really cool just to be in the presence of that man, that monster of a man.
Yeah, he's huge.
Oh yeah, just trying to shake his hand is an adventure. You
Yeah,
know.
like, oh man, that is a big man.
I thought I worked out, and I thought I was feeling pretty good about myself. You will not after standing next to Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, it. You feel so minuscule sometimes. It's like,
Oh yeah. Um.
there's. Oof.
So anybody else other than Lou? I mean,
um, shoot, not as many as it's a. I do meet a lot of voice actors.
okay. Tell me some
I've
of those
met.
because those are A-list
Uh,
celebrities to me.
yeah. Okay. So, um, Scott. I think. Yeah, Scott McNeil, the voice actor for Piccolo.
Nice. I've yet to
Uh,
meet him. He's still on my list. That's cool.
so he was really cool. I think that's the him. I think it was his wife. Just walking around the convention center, just hanging out. Wearing his cowboy hat, and,
Right.
and, and it was just talking to fans. It was a really nice, just randomly.
Right.
And I always like the voice actors who know they're big, but they're just like other people, walk around
Right.
the convention floor, talking to people, and just shooting the shit. Right?
Right. Right.
Those are always so good.
Um. So you mentioned that you're a comic book fan.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular favorite writers or artists or comic books that that you sought out after at the convention, or that you really wanted to get some original art from, or really wanted to meet, or you like collecting their work? Is there anything in the realm of comics like that?
Uh, Not really, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Um, I well, kinda. I'm not super sure he's done any comics, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Um, okay, so do you know the DC Bombshells
Yes.
artist, Art
Yes.
Luca?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did seek him out, to be honest with you. I have his I have his stuff. Like I
Right.
got bunch of stuff signed. Um, when he did shoot, I got my exhibitor pass signed by him. To be honest with you,
Nice.
like cards, all kinds of stuff. It was just if I had something from him, oh, so gonna get him to sign it. I still need to get a bombshell figure as well. If he could sign it, boom, we're good. I am
Nice.
I'm
Yeah.
happy.
Do you have a favorite bombshell piece he did? I always really liked kind of the jetpack hot girl. I really liked his hot girl from that run.
Yeah. Shoot. I don't. Well, I liked his Killer Frost. That was really good,
Okay.
and I really enjoyed when he did a piece with Superman and Supergirl, I believe, and it was
I know what you're
there's
talking
just
about.
yeah, and there's so many. I love his Wonder Woman. Just you know, I would say Wonder Woman is probably my favorite one out of all of them, but she's
Okay.
always been a huge favorite of mine because I don't know. I got a thing for strong women or something. I don't know.
Oh no,
It's weird.
nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And especially now with her having the movie she does now, and it's some of the better DC movies that are out there. Absolutely nothing wrong with being a Wonder Woman fan.
Yeah.
Um, so here's all your all these fun experiences, going to conventions, meeting all these people. When was the first time you were like, hey, I think people are willing to buy my art. I think people are willing to buy my art prints, and I'm gonna be part of the convention. What was the first convention that you were an exhibitor, and what's it like to kind of be just one of those tables on the artist alley floor compared to you know the Neil Adams or the Jim Lees, that might be also on the floor with you at the same convention.
you Ew, shoot. I don't know what they feel because they bring in much larger crowds than I do.
Right.
But it it's strange because when you go into it, you know how well in the beginning when you go in as a fan, you're trying to see as much as you can. You're staying there for hours on end. You don't, you know, you probably don't bathe as much as you need to.
I
You're not
still
eating well.
the,
It's just
I do the bathing, but the not eating well. That's true. That is very
yeah,
true.
you know. And it's just when you become an part of the artist alley, it magnifies everything. You don't eat, you barely sleep because you get out of your con, you try to get a shower in, you try to eat something because you forgot to eat,
Oh yeah,
12 hours ago.
forgetting to eat is like the big convention thing for me. Is like, oh yeah, I didn't eat all day. I
Yeah,
I had a oatmeal cream pie and a 3 Budweisers, so I'm good.
yeah, yeah. That's my issue. I bring liquor with me, so I I'm pretty good with the alcohol. I have carbonated bread,
It was
basically.
there was a convention I was really like worked hard to like try and lose weight so I could be like a good Wolverine. So,
Yeah,
I have my Wolverine. I'm like they were selling bottled beer. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get a few of these because Logan walking around with a beer. That's what people want to see. So I'm down in Budweisers, and
yeah.
I have no food in my belly because I didn't want like the bloat from eating a bunch of junk food. I'm like, I'll eat when I'm done with my day one at the convention. And I remember just like getting sick because I have like no food on my belly except for like a protein bar and like 6 Budweisers and a mixed drink.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's the con life for you.
Yeah.
But continue the story. I apologize.
Drinking. I
Drink.
drink a lot. It's not a it's not a good thing when you're trying to sell stuff and and you're but anyway,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
like because as a fan, you're looking around at all these different things, and like, and I'm sure you can relate to this. As a fan, you're wanting to buy everything.
yes.
Hey, I like this guy's print, and I want to buy this print, and I want to buy this print, and I want to buy this print, and then I want to go down there and buy something from this vendor, and I want to meet all the celebrities. And you're looking around, and you're seeing all the tables, and you're just like, oh, what do I do? When you're on the other side of that, and you're seeing people walk by your stuff, like what is it discouraging? Is it still exciting because you're like, hey, somebody's eventually going to buy it? Like, what's that feeling like?
Uh well, it can be discouraging actually. If you don't have a product that people want and nobody's buying it, it can be extremely discouraging because you do feel sometimes, oh, am I actually good enough? You know, am I just chasing a dream at this moment? Am I, not as good as I think I am? Just
Right,
you get a lot. There's a lot of when you don't make your table back and you traveled from somewhere and you know and it's extremely discouraging. But you just feel like you're knocked down. You're angry. You know, and you're upset and you're just trying to figure out what did I do wrong. But
right,
this happens to every single artist alley person ever because I've met a few pretty well known artists in like certain areas and whatnot, and they'll have just terrible conventions, you know. And it's people who have had their own figures made, people who've worked for um, actual big companies,
right.
um, and they would just do terrible in certain cons because some cons are very focused on cosplayers, others are focused on
Right.
figures, things like that, and you have to keep a good mind with you because when you start discouraging yourself, thinking, "Oh man, I good?" It just beats you down. You need to bring your head up. It's
Right.
just like it's crazy.
Right.
But there at times when you start selling really well and you make more than your table and you could eat, you could do all of this stuff. You feel so elated when that happens, though.
I was getting ready to ask you about that. Like, what's the feeling like whenever like you really when business is booming? You know, and it's funny you mentioned this because I was getting ready to ask you about. You mentioned like where the convention is more centered around other things, or like the big selling points of the convention aren't exactly comic books and artists. Do you think do you think that hurt discourages uh, people like yourself and other artists that from thinking like, it's not even worth it to get a table here. This is the selling point to this is Doctor Who and Funko Pops, and nobody's going to want to buy art. Do you think that discourages the artists like from even trying, or do you think it's just kind of a, hey, put the Doctor Who stuff out there in front and hope someone buys it? Like what's it like when you kind of maybe didn't get the right read on the convention you booked?
Uh, if you don't get the right lead, you feel bad.
Right. Uh,
um, but there's a few. Um, I know Dragon Con can be extremely um busy, but a lot of people do go there just for the cosplaying.
right.
Where I as much as I want to say the comic book convention scene is like the best scene out there,
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. The anime scene, people are a lot nicer there.
Oh, that's an interesting take. Do you care to go a little further on that? Like, because I've never really been to a full on. I went to like one very very small anime convention, and it wasn't put together right, and they didn't know what was going on. It kind of soured me on not anime conventions, but just kind of like, okay. But kind of compare and contrast the two because I've, other than that one experience that probably should not be what I think of when it comes to anime con experiences. What is the difference really?
Generally, for comic book conventions, you're going to have bigger names. You know, a Stan Lee when he was alive. Um, actors, actresses, and a lot of times, if you want an autograph or whatnot, it's normally some kind of monetary, you know, compensation for them.
Right,
Usually $40 to $60. You got to wait in really long lines because there's hundreds and hundreds of people, thousands of people sometimes,
right,
and everybody's trying to get their money. Everybody's trying to do this. Everybody's trying to do that, right?
right,
And you have a lot of cosplayers. And it's just this large celebrity focus on there. Where when you get an anime convention, you're the celebrities aren't people that you say, oh, that's you know Chris Evans, that's this, that's Jason Momoa. You don't get any of that. You get
right,
instead of that, you get the guys who, hey, this is a voice actor, and a lot of times, you know, they'll just give you an autograph for free for the hell of it,
right. That was the
And
one cool thing about the anime convention is both of the voice actors they booked, they
yeah,
would um, they would sign your own stuff for free.
yeah,
The only thing like you'd have to buy, they had like posters and stuff on their own table.
yeah, but people
That's
got
the
to
only
make
way they
money.
that's the only way they charge you. And but like you want to take a picture with them, free. You want them to
Yeah,
sign, your Dragon Ball Z DVD or your Bleach DVD, that's free.
yeah,
And that was really cool. And it was like, of all the things I said I didn't like about how that convention was put together, that was refreshing compared to, like you said, 3 months earlier. I went to a comic book convention with anime voice actors and had to still pay for their autographs. Not complaining. That's fine. It's something I like to do. But
yeah,
then when you come here, I'm like, oh, I didn't have to pay to get this signed. That's neat.
yeah. It's just it's so different, and a lot of times they're a little bit more welcoming at times. It's not as an elite kind of a situation like comic books and
Right.
movies and things like that. It's more niche,
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um it's just, yeah, it's just the fact that you can, they'll walk around, they'll talk to you, they'll even give you some, they'll they'll give you a time of day, like
Right.
you're an actual person, and it just, it feels nice. It feels nice when a it feels nice when somebody who is substantially high above you gives you some time and treats you like a human being instead of just a fan, one of the
Right.
millions following them.
Right. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. That's pretty. And yeah, I guess that is kind of true.
Yeah.
So I'm just because like I'm because I always look back at that one anime convention. I just kind of because nobody knew. I have such a negative opinion of it, but hearing you mention that, and then hearing how, like I said, how well the voice actors treated me, and how nice the vendors were, and like yeah, that you are right. It was a nicer atmosphere than what the big comic book conventions can be. As much as I love them, with everybody in their backpacks full of toys to get signed by the celebrities or whatnot. Like, yeah, that's you helped change my perspective. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
um,
just, I don't know. I've always been treat people nicely. That's about it.
absolutely. Um, so, do you have a particular favorite moment from being on the floor? Be it like a really cool person that bought some of your art and just really made the weekend special for you, or really, made things seem cool, seem worth it, or, just like meeting some cool people and you talk at your table and, you become friends. Have you ever had a moment like that in your time doing conventions?
um Oh shoot, my favorite moment. I didn't really meet anybody during this, but it was when Stanley came to Kansas City, right?
Okay.
And I drew just a random little caricature of Stanley, and somebody bought it, colored it and everything, and yeah, I didn't think I was gonna see it. Ends up getting his signature right next to mine,
Nice.
and it's just like sees it, he's happy, like, and I'm just like, yeah, I feel validated, to be honest with you, just to have my name next to it, essentially the man who created comic books. And it's
Right.
just like, how? It's like, am I worthy of this? Should I be essentially in the on the same sheet of paper as what is essentially a god right now?
Right.
And it was just I don't know what to tell you.
That's
It
awesome.
was like that, or the first time I met, or when I met Nobuo Uematsu, the conductor for the Final Fantasy series.
Okay.
I That one, I didn't know what to say. I'm not even gonna lie. I was the weirdest kid during that time.
So you okay, it's funny you mentioned that. So like that was the meeting where you're like starstruck.
Oh, dude. Yeah, beyond. Like, what do you say?
Right.
It's just
Because there's
just
like sometimes like I go into like either fanboy mode where like I end up like, oh my god, you're so cool, and then I get back to the hotel, I'm like, whoever that person I just met's probably going back to their hotel room going, there's this idiot, this dude was like, the hell, this guy's weird. And then you have one where like like I want to like at least ask a good question or say something nice. I'm just like, hi, okay, thank you, thank you.
yeah,
I like your
yeah,
I like your wrestling. um, but
yeah.
uh,
That happens.
um,
I, it's just that happens.
that
That happens a
happens.
little bit more than I'd like to admit, to be honest with you.
Then we'd all like to admit
Yeah,
it is the moment of dread of every fan at a convention.
yeah. It's like, yep, that was cool. I don't. It's like I'd
um,
beat myself up on that one, to be honest with you.
right. Um, okay. Well, you mentioned you met that individual. What kind of some more? I know you mentioned Ferrigno on that one. Like any other like sort of people which were kind of like hey, this was a fun interaction with this celebrity, or you don't have to out yourself with any more painful memories of like what we just discussed, but any more like like
Just being
hey,
an awkward person.
yeah, just being an awkward fanboy or fangirl or anything, just anything like that. But like any of them where you like walk away going like, wow, that actor is really cool, or that artist is like that is a good person right there, and I'm happy I paid my money to meet this individual.
uh no, not really. Actually,
Okay,
I, no, not really.
okay,
I just kind of, yeah, I just kind of talk to people. To be honest with you,
awesome, okay,
there's, and if it works, and we end up doing something, or you know, meeting other people. When a lot of it's pretty much uh networking.
gotcha.
Because they're trying to make their money, and you're trying to make your money, and I always do enjoy getting to know more prominent artists than myself. You
Okay,
know,
gotcha.
Eh,
I
eh,
can imagine for someone who's actually out there on the floor, you've definitely gotta almost to zero scale that fandom back, because you're trying to put your artwork out there, put
yeah,
yourself out there. So you probably really have to, as hard as it may be, contain yourself when you're talking to some of these people.
yeah. It's you have to dial down the fanboy
Right.
situation, right? Because I met Andy Brace. I
Okay.
think that's how you say his name. About 2 years ago, before COVID, basically,
Before
and screwed my entire year up.
all the
Uh,
all the years before 2020 need to be called BC again. That's before
yeah,
COVID. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was just meeting, you know, guys who I really admire on their art style, and and just talking to them like they're normal people.
right,
Because when you're no longer a fanboy and you are an artist, you are part of their peer group, whether you like it or not. Even if you want to just gush all over their work, even if you want it, you need to cut it out. They're just a person just like you,
right.
and you gotta talk to them like you know show some of your work, show them what you can do, because if you can get a toe inside that door to just hold it open a little bit, and they have some kind of example, and you can create a good impression with them. If they can't do, say there's like a project coming along or something like that, right? And they can't do the project, but they say, "Hey, I know a guy," or I bet this guy a long time ago, or whatnot. Maybe give him a shot. Things like that,
Awesome.
because you're trying to make money, and I do that with more of my local people that I know as well, because I do have a friend here, and he knows a few more artists than I do, but he's actually a social person. I am not.
um,
And
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, no, no. I'm literally stopped because I have nothing else to say
All
right
right.
there.
Well, I was going to ask, like, whenever you're, what sorts of opportunities have, kind of the networking with the other artists, or in the situation that you mentioned, your friend who's a little bit more sociable, what sorts of opportunities came from that?
Uh, Nothing as of yet. Be honest with you.
Okay,
Uh,
sorry.
wh- let's. I'm gonna be honest. The you know Last year it just kind of shut everything down,
Right.
and what what I was trying to do didn't really pan out very well. You know, and I haven't been to other conventions in so long. It's almost been, I would say, almost 2 years now, to be honest with you,
Dang, yeah,
considering.
damn COVID.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Well, hopefully when this all ends, that you and every artist that need these conventions, everything kind of gets brought back up. I'm really pulling for everybody, but switching gears a little bit, you do Twitch streams. I noticed on your Instagram account that you have you do some
Yeah.
streaming on Twitch. What sorts of streams do you do, and what do you like the most about the Twitch platforms? I know some people love it, some people hate it. What say you?
Um, I mean, it's Twitch. I
Right.
can't say much about it. All I really do on there is, I wake up and I pretty much just live stream what I'm drawing. That's it.
That's it.
That's
Okay.
all I'm doing. And if somebody's watching, then I talk to them. If nobody's watching, I don't talk to anybody,
Right.
because I don't. Who am I going to talk to?
Well, it's it's funny that you do a lot better than I do, because there's times I've like tried to stream a video game or something on this here on the YouTube channel or on a Twitch channel. When I'm not like with playing like a multiplayer game where like I'm bouncing off of things during a live stream. I might just hear like nobody's watching me. Nobody's watching me. Nobody's watching me. I have
Yeah,
I have a
that's.
I have a big burp I want to get out, but I'm afraid if I burp, somebody will come in, and then that'll be embarrassing. So I'm gonna hold in this burp. You know what? Nobody's watching. I'm just gonna shut the stream down so nobody can go back and see my burp. But I'm going to shut it down so that way I can burp, and then I just lose interest in the stream and I quit. So I gotta commend you for if you know sticking with the stream, because that's something that's when I'm by myself, I cannot stick with stream. I have to have somebody else with me. So, gotta give you
it's
props there.
it's it's easier when there's at least one person there with you. Um, Talking to the void is, it's a little disheartening.
Oh yes.
Because you essentially have to talk to a void where there's nobody there, and hopefully somebody comes in and says, Hi.
Yes. Yes, very much so. And it's like, I do my one weekly live stream with my friends where we talk, and like that's good because I got my buddies there and we're literally having our weekly conversation like right there for everybody, and that's fine. But there have been so many times I'm like, I'm gonna set this up and I'm gonna play Mario Kart, or I'm gonna play uh F F-Zero, or I'm gonna play WCW versus NWO Revenge, and I'm like here it's like, do I talk? Do I talk? Do I talk? There's nobody in here. Do I talk? Here's one person. Hi, one person. Thank you so much. Oh, they're not there anymore. Oh, okay. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Yep. You scared him off.
Yep. The struggle is real. Um,
Yeah. It's crazy. You want to make a good impression, but when they're only on there for a second or two, it's hard to make that impression. It
and you
really
wonder what
is.
you've done wrong. Like,
Yeah.
was I too awkward? Am I playing the game wrong? Is is there something not good with my setup? What I do? When it could just be somebody who's all like, and I'm sure we've done it watching other people's live stream. Like, okay, I want to hang out here. I don't want to hang out here anymore. I want to go lay down, or I want to go. I want to play games myself, or I want to read, or I want to watch The Office for the 3,000th time.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't take it too personally because it is a job, you know, and you just can't take it personally. Other people have other lives as to as much as you want to say you are the main event, the main character in this entire world. You're really not.
No,
You are a side character and you're the main character in your story. But
right.
everybody else is the main character in their own story. And you can't think that you know, the world revolves around you because
Absolutely.
other people have lives as well, you know.
Right. And that's actually a really good way of putting it. So this is kind of a broad question. I'm not sure if you will be able to answer it, but you have a great portfolio on your Instagram page. So many
Oh,
different characters that I just really like your work on. What we see, the Venom, Spawn. I believe that's Green Goblin riding a motorcycle. Like that's cool. Uh, so
well,
many
thank
different
you.
Darkwing Duck. There's so many different things here that I think are really, really awesome on your page. What are some of your favorite things you like to draw? What is like a character that if me or another fan were to go, I commission this from you, you're like, awesome, I love this character. And then on the flip side, is there anything? Well, you'll be like, I'll do it, but this is work.
Uh Shoot. I don't know. Like original characters I used to have issues with from say somebody say, "Hey, I have an original character idea. Could you help me out with it?" Those are usually kind of a pain just because I don't have a good vision of their original character.
Right,
Those are honestly some of the worst ones because at times it seems like no matter what you do or how good you've done it, it's
right.
wrong. It's just wrong because it's not yours, It's their idea, right? And sometimes they just want you to draw what they drew in the same way and don't give you any uh creative licensing with it,
Gotcha,
right?
gotcha.
It
Um,
puts your own spin into it.
real quick,
But
just because this
yeah,
brought up something else that I kind of dawned on me. You mentioned it's kind of hard for you to do a commission of a create or an original character,
yeah.
but how would it be how is that more difficult than if, like, say, somebody came up to you and went like, I got this idea for a story and I want you to draw it. Here's my idea. Is there any like kind of difference in the creative thought process from draw my character the way I did it, but I want you to draw it, or hey, I want you to do the art for my story, and but you're gonna be drawing my character? Is there like a different bit of like I says the thought process different, or is one easier? Or is it kind of all difficult in that sense?
It can be. It depends. If somebody doesn't have any idea of what the characters look like, but they have some kind of description, that's normally easier. And you
Right,
just have to talk. You just have to talk to the person who's writing the story and say, "Hey, I'm going to do what I do. All right, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, But I have to do my own style.
right,
You can't. You can't make somebody create a style that's not theirs. It's not going to happen.
right,
Every single person has their own kind of a unique style. Some guys like to do thick lines. Some people like to do more soft stuff. Some people like pens. It just depends on the artist. Some people
right.
do. Yeah, just depends on the artist. And generally speaking, if somebody who's coming in who doesn't really know what they want and they're coming to you as an artist, they can't expect you to do somebody else's style because they should never have came to you in the first place, wanting you to be a different style than what you already have,
Right,
because it just doesn't flow that way.
right. Um, Kind of going back to the first question before I, this one just popped into my head.
Yeah.
But what are some of the things that you do like to draw that you would get excited about? That would really get you. I want to say motivated because I feel like that makes it seem like you don't want to do, or an artist wouldn't want to do art any other time. But what's something where you're like, oh, geez, I'm just gonna have so much fun doing this, and I can't wait to do this for this person because I love this.
Yeah. Okay. So in that situation, pretty much, I would say pretty much anything.
Okay,
As weird as this sounds, it's like as long as they don't want I just want you know a head or like make something that's weird, like
right,
complicated. I need them to pose like this, like that, cool pose. Because I'm a big fan of doing a really good pose. I
gotcha.
don't want we don't need I don't need to see Goku doing a Kamehameha again. Okay,
Right,
if say we got him like doing flips or full body shots, something that's just out of the ordinary. Those are always fun.
okay.
You know, like
And any ones you've done in the past that were I mentioned like an established character like a Goku doing something out of the ordinary. Is there anything that you remember from your portfolio that you got to really be creative with an established character, and then uh, you know it really being rewarding because of the creativity you got to show with that character?
hmm, I'm not super sure, to be honest with you,
Okay.
because there's yeah, I don't know. It just kind of depends on the character. I'm a big fan of doing my Godzilla poster that I did because it was you could see that it was Godzilla, but it was a different take on it,
Gotcha.
and just all kinds of things.
Well, what was the take that you felt like you changed in your Godzilla picture?
It was just not really because it was Godzilla, but it wasn't Godzilla.
Okay.
it was just a different style of different things. I, I don't know how to say it. Like doing chibi characters of different characters, or doing a more cartoony style of this guy and that guy.
Gotcha. Okay.
As weird
Yeah,
as
yeah. I know exactly what you're saying.
yeah, I don't know how to say it,
No,
but
that
yeah,
it's be easier if like I could if this wasn't just audio and I could like point out all these different things because it's funny you mentioned that because one of the first pieces I really liked was your Darkwing Duck, and I was like it looked it's Darkwing Duck and it looks like Darkwing Duck. It's how I remember Darkwing Duck as a kid, but like it also then I got like this real Batman comic booky vibe with it, which I know was kind of what Darkwing Duck was like. I want to say a parody of. It was kind of like taken off in the vein of, you
yeah.
know. Batman, but like this felt more Batman-y to me. It felt more like, okay, hey, this isn't, this Frank Miller. I'm not,
Yeah.
did Darkwing Duck with this kind of style, and he's trying to really deconstruct Darkwing Duck like he did Batman. Like that's kind of the vibe I got from that picture. So, I mean, if that's not the vibe you were going for, I apologize for interpreting it that way. But that's kind of like how
No,
I what
it,
stood out to me with that piece.
yeah, it's just art is completely subjective. There's no real right way and no wrong way to do it. Okay,
Right.
and it's just as an artist, I'm always happiest when I get to throw in my own spin to everything. Because I can just draw the way I draw, and I like my thick lines. I love my inks. I love my markers. I love all of that stuff. And if I can see a picture that, okay, I kind of want to draw this, but instead of being a really dark, original character and whatnot, let's throw something weird into it. Let's make them more cartoony. Make them change the head a little bit. We'll make them, instead of realistic, make them weird. Showering blood on you, whatnot. Give them an umbrella. Make it make it more kid friendly. Things like
Right.
that. It's just it's more fun when you're just more spontaneous, and it's just, I don't know, relaxing. That's
Okay.
a terrible word to say, but it's just,
No.
I don't know, freeing. I guess I should say. There's no real good English word for this.
Right. But I understand what you're saying, and yeah, it's definitely you know uh, now that you've kind of said that, like I'm going back and looking at some of those pieces that really stood out to me, and what made me think, hey, I'd really love to talk to this guy. Um, it all really makes sense now. Yeah, that's like I see it no more now. Especially like I said, going back to the Darkwing Duck. Like, yeah, that's you're doing a good job. I I hate to just like be like kind of like unprofessional like that, but like, yeah, you're doing a damn good job with all this.
Yeah, I do what I do. I just gotta have fun. It's my work. It's I would never call this a job because it's not a job. I don't hate this. This is my work.
Awesome.
You know,
Um,
as weird as that sounds.
no, I totally get like this is what I'm doing right now is not my job. This is my work.
Yeah.
That's a very good way of putting it. It's a really really good perspective to have. There anything else you'd like to add? If there's anything you want to promote for anybody that maybe hasn't seen your artwork yet, you want to show them. Social media you'd want to direct them to, in case they want to check out more of your work and maybe get. Are you open for commissions? Put yourself out there for. I know I have a bit like you mentioned that you're only the main character in in your own head canon. I know I am the epitome of the side character. I don't even maybe I'm an extra in terms of the canon of YouTube and the canon of podcasts, but you never know who might be listening if they'd like to order a commission, how they find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at cousin Charlie. That's also my Twitch handle,
Awesome.
cousin Charlie.
And
and
I'll post links to all this in the description box below as well.
yeah, and I'm usually pretty much open for commissions as of right now. I haven't really made anything as of yet, and I am working on doing a website as well. So I have prints and things online as well. And that, honestly, that's going to be under cousin Charlie as well. It pretty
Okay.
much, you're gonna, but yeah,
Awesome.
that's about it right now. And yeah, I'll put. I am going to change my email to something a little more professional. It seems like you can actually find me, and then I'll open up commissions then.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Can they message you on Instagram for commissions or anything of that nature?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay. All right. So definitely check them out. And if you're, this will be dropping around the time that some people might be getting their income tax return. If you want a cool piece of your favorite character, give Charlie a look and see what kind of take he can do on one of your favorite characters. And uh, yeah, definitely check him out. And Charlie, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know it was really hard to kind of get this all lined up, but I really enjoyed talking to you, and I really enjoyed our conversation. And I hope when COVID finally gets eradicated, or at least becomes less of a threat, that I can think in person and see you at a convention sometime.
Yeah, that. Yeah, yeah. It was good talking to you too, man. This is actually my first interview, which is hopefully I did okay.
I always you remember what we had mentioned earlier with the you get done and then you always feel like being like a celebrity. You're like, oh god, I did things like that. I hate myself. That's me after
Yeah.
every interview. I've had
Okay.
I've had people tell me like, you did a great job, and I'm like, no, I didn't. It's Steve. um, and that's
uh,
probably gonna be me, but I can assure you, like this is how I like my interviews to be. Just kind of, it's called the Geeking Out Podcast for a reason. I just like to shoot the shit with other nerdy people and have a good time about what a fantastic community this can be.
yeah, yeah. It's it's a good one. It's
It definitely
a little
is.
crazy at times, but it's it can't not be a geek, you know.
Exactly. And we hope everybody else enjoyed this as well, and hope they enjoy geeking out in this community as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of comic books and art, but from the world of all things geeky, pro wrestling, gaming, anime. Follow me on my social media pages, facebook.com/athleticgeekA9, Twitter athletic_geekA9, Instagram athleticgeekA9. And if you'd like to help this channel out financially, hit me up on Patreon. That's patreon.com/athleticgeekA9. Check the description box below for Charlie's social media pages, and definitely hit him up for a commission. But on that, we'll see you guys next time.
All right.